Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of the weekly playlist. It's Friday, so it's time to share with you guys the games I have been playing during this past week. Got some Genesis games, PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4, so I've been mixing up a little bit. I've still been on a Genesis kick, wanting to play Genesis games, but I also wanted to mix in a couple other consoles. Let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on these games, and then I'd like to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on the games I share with you. Of course, if you guys have any suggestions on games you think I should try out, let me know, because you guys always suggest really fun games. And I'd also like to hear what games you guys have been playing recently. So we'll start off here with the first game for Genesis, and I've had this in my collection for quite a while, but I actually never played it until this week, and that is Sword of Vermilion. So this is an RPG for the Sega Genesis. Now, most people have given it kind of a mediocre review, like a 5 or 6 out of 10 review on it. I've only played this for about a half hour so far, and I'm enjoying it. There are some annoying parts of the game I'll talk about, but basically the story is there was two kingdoms, this, Eric and this other dude, I can't remember his name. But they were friends going after these 16 rings of good and evil, and then the other king ends up turning evil, and he invades his buddy's kingdom, takes it over, and basically kills everybody. And so the main character's dad is that King Eric. Well, he gives his son to his best warrior named Blade, who hides the son and raises him as his own. And then the game starts off where the main character who you play as, who's the son, is like become a man now, and his dad is dying, and then he gives you the quest of restoring your kingdom by collecting the rings and defeating the other king and his army. So that's basically like the story in the game. And you start out with a town, and you can interact with everybody, and then they give you money to buy weapons, shields, stuff like that, and then you go out on your quest. And so when you're outside the town, it's like a 3D type of perspective. You'll see the map, and then you walk around, and that's where you'll run into random enemy battles. And then as soon as you're in the battle, you'll be surrounded by anywhere from 1 to like 10 enemies all around the thing, and you run around the map, and it's live action combat, so it's not like turn-based or anything, which I did like, but it's really difficult though at the beginning. Like, you could get overwhelmed by certain enemies, and I had to stop and go heal. And you go back to the town, they have inns where you can stay at, and it costs money, and you use that money to purchase goods and also to rest, which then heals you. You can buy potions and stuff like that, and there is magic in the game. And then I read that when you get to boss battles, it turns to like a 2D side-scroller battle, and that's where you can't use magic. So it has a kind of little combination of different play styles in the game, which I think is pretty neat. But I've heard mixed things. So far, I'm enjoying it. It just seems really difficult, so I'm going to have to give some more time into this. But Sword of Vermilion, an interesting RPG. If you guys have played it before, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it. Like I said, I've only played it for about a half hour so far, just trying it out. Definitely going to have to get more playtime into this. But it's definitely a pretty interesting RPG for the Sega Genesis. Next game for the Genesis I played, and I've loved this game ever since I got this as a kid. Remember I got this as a birthday present. I remember it was $40. My dad bought it, and it died after 3 days. We had to take it back to the store and get another copy, and that was Green Dog. Now, this is not my original copy. That original one is boxed up somewhere, but I bought another one at a local store here for just a couple bucks, and I absolutely love this game. This is one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And I know a lot of people kind of hate on the game, but it's a fun little platformer. So you play as Green Dog. It's a surfing dude. He ends up wiping out in a big surf on a sand beach, and then when he gets himself out of the sand, he finds that he has an amulet stuck to him, an Aztec one, and he can't take it off. And there's this girl, I think her name is Bambi. She's in a bikini on there, and she's telling you the whole story that this pendant you have on you is this Aztec pendant, and as long as you're wearing it, you have animals and people and stuff will react negatively, and they want to attack you. And then the only way to get the pendant to take off, because it won't let you take it off, is you have to get the 6 treasures for this Aztec thing and return it to where it goes so you can take the pendant off. So that's what it is. You're going around to the 6 different islands to retrieve the Aztec treasure so you can finally get the pendant removed from you. And along your way, you'll run into various enemies that are trying to kill you because of the pendant. So it's really fun. You start off with a beach level, and there's a variety of different enemies. Like there's crabs, so when you hit them, they like shoot out, like have like a big like spike type body, and they bounce around and you can destroy them. So you have a frisbee, is what your weapon is, and you use that to attack the different enemies. There's some star enemies that are really cool, that when you hit them they explode into different stars and you have to dodge that. There's different birds that'll attack you, and there's a nice variety to the different islands. So at the end of each island you have to go through an Aztec temple, and going through the temple there's little puzzle things to solve in it, and when you make your way to the end then you leave with the treasure, and then you have a pedal copter, which is pretty cool. So he has a helicopter that you pedal, and it has a little fist that punches, and so between levels it's basically like a little bonus stage where you're flying around dodging birds and fish that jump up, piranhas trying to bite you, and you're collecting different food items, because there's items to collect which go up to your score. And then there's like energy drinks, if you collect them they actually refill your health bar, so you can only be hit so many times. It starts off with nothing, then it gets green, goes to yellow, gets to red, and then finally you're dead. And you start off with like 3 or 4 lives, and you have 3 continues, but you can find lives in different stages. There's little secret areas to explore, which is really cool. Unlock more lives and stuff. And then as you progress through the game, it does get a lot more difficult as you go through the different islands. Like my favorite island is the 3rd island, where you actually are in a giant aquarium, and he has a little snorkel on, and there's different little pockets, where air pockets you hit, and then he gets more air, and then you have to watch out for these tubes above you that suck the air in, because it'll throw you back further in the level and you have to retrace your steps, which can be annoying. But there's little seaweed at the bottom that will show you if it's sucking up the water or not. You'll see the little seaweed going like this, but when it's down then you know that it's not, and you can go through it safely. And then there's this annoying dog that follows you throughout the game, and he will steal food and items that you get if you don't find a bone. So if you find a bone, he'll go after that, and that'll keep him distracted. So you have to watch out for that little dog stealing your food items to increase your score. But overall it's a really fun little platform, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. I got all the way to the 4th one, and that's where they start involving using a skateboard and having to time your jumps over parking meters. If you hit the parking meter, it throws you back a couple spots and you have to retrace your steps. But I was getting through that, and then made it to a little one of the I think it was the 5th island I finally made it to, is where I ended up running out of lives, just because it gets really difficult. But I have beat this as a kid, I just have not played it in quite a while. But a really fun game. Highly recommend you guys check out Green Dog, the beach surfer dude for Sega Genesis. It's a fun game. Gets a lot of hate, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I definitely think you guys should try it out. For PlayStation 2, game I have not played in a couple months now, but I wanted to get back into trying to finish it, and that was Champions Return to Arms. So this is a top-down action RPG. This is a sequel to Champions of Norath, which I already beat that game, and I do want to finish beating this one. I'm about halfway now through the game. I really like that you can import your character from the first Champions of Norath into this to continue your story. So that's what I did with my wizard. But they did add a couple new characters. There's a cat race that you can be, and then there's I think what the other one was, and then there's these lizard guys, so the shamans and the berserker cats. And then you also have your wizards and your other characters from the original Champions of Norath. But it's a really fun game. It changes up the story, is that they're trying to resurrect this evil I might say it on here what that damn guy's name is now. No, it doesn't look like it. I can't remember. But you can either be good or evil in this game, which is really cool, because in the first game, you only just follow the path of good, and that's all you can do. I'm playing right now on the good side. Once I beat it, I'll probably try to play through it again, but to do the evil side and see if there's much difference in it. But it's a really fun game, and I like that this actually has bonus stages and extra levels and stuff, and lots of secrets for you to uncover, secret weapons and armor, tons of enemies, nice variety of stages, and Overall, a really fun game. They even have underwater stages, which is really cool. Like, you get a spell that makes you so you can breathe underwater, and you fight underwater creatures and stuff. But it's a fun game. If you're a fan of the top-down action RPGs like your Baldur's Gate Dark Alliances, that Heroes game on the original Xbox, X-Men Legends, that kind of thing, definitely recommend you guys check out Champions Return to Arms. Really fun game. Really wish they would have continued this series, but they never did after PlayStation 2. This was the only game we got after Champions of Norath, but it's a really fun game. I definitely think you guys should check that out for the PlayStation 2. Fun game. And the last game I played for PS4, and actually just got this, which you guys will see this in my next pickups video when I get that filmed, but I got a new Samurai Warriors game, but this is Samurai Warriors Spirits of Sonata. So I've never played this game before. I'm a big fan of Dynasty Warriors. I love the Samurai Warrior games. I love the hack and slash fun, and I just thought this looked interesting. One thing about this is actually is different compared to the other Samurai Warrior games. So this isn't just your typical Samurai Warrior games where you have your different sides you play as and go through the different stories. This is just basically one story facing on the Sonata clan. And so it's, it says back here, experience new unique castle towns, detailed 3D maps, prepare for campaigns, and use skills to survive multi-stage battles, fight through epic military confrontations, real-time day and night system affects victory conditions. New charismatic characters add to the story. Long-awaited Masasuke, Sonata, and others join to tell the valiant tale of the Sonata clan. So it's really cool that it's like focused on one family and going through their story. I'm at the very beginning. I've only played about an hour, and I've only gone through one battle so far, but it's really fun, and I like the different aspects, like the RPG elements they have in the game, and the story is pretty cool, and you can talk to different people while you're in the town. You can go to the armory and buy weapons to make your character stronger, and you can level up your character as you're battling, and there's more than one character to play through in different stages, and there's all kinds of places to explore in those different stages. And sometimes you can sneak around enemies by finding a secret path to make it easier, and different objectives and stuff. But overall, I'm really liking it. I like Samurai Warrior games, and this Samurai Warrior Spirits of Sonata is really cool, and I think you should try it out if you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warrior games like I have. I guess I've only played an hour so far, but I'm definitely enjoying it, and it's a really good game for the PlayStation 4. I'd recommend you guys try out. So, do our quick little recap here. I talked about playing the RPG Sword of Vermilion for the Sega Genesis, and I've had this for a long time, but I've never played it before. There's quite a few Genesis games I have not played that I do have in my collection that I definitely need to try out. Overall, it's a pretty cool RPG. Has different elements. You have your top-down sections in the towns and interact with people. Then when you're out in between towns, you have a little map, and then you have like a 3D perspective where you move around there, which is pretty cool. Then when you get into battles, it's back to top-down, and you fight enemies in like a one little stage room area. And then when you get to bosses, then it turns to a 2D side-scrolling battle system, which I've not made it to any bosses yet. Really difficult. I do have to warn you that it is quite difficult in the early stages of the game, is where I'm at. I'm hoping that as you get stronger and level up, that the game becomes easier. It's definitely one I got to put more time into and try out. I talked about Green Dog. That's a really fun little platformer on the Sega Genesis, where you're a beach dude. You have an amulet on you that makes people go crazy and animals want to attack you, and the only way to remove it is by finding the Aztec treasures that are on 6 different islands. But it's a really fun platformer. Definitely think you guys should try that out. Also talk about Champions Return to Arms, top-down action RPG sequel to the wonderful Champions of Norath game. Absolutely love this game. I definitely need to finish beating it. I'm about halfway through it. There's all kinds of different levels. You could easily get 50 to 100 hours out of this game, depending on if you do everything, explore everywhere, get all the secrets that you can unlock, all the secret stuff. Very fun title. Definitely recommend it. There's 7 different races, and one thing I really like is you can import your character that you used in the first Champions of Norath and continue the story in this, because this does continue the story right where the first game left off. The second one here picks up, and it's interesting because you have either a good side or an evil side, so you get to choose to be good or evil, which is definitely cool, because usually in these games you only get to be on the good side. The first game, you can only be on good. This one lets you choose to be evil if you want to. And then we also talked about Samurai Warrior Spirits of Sonata, so it's a more story driven, it's focused on one clan and story in a Samurai Warriors universe, and not like your typical Samurai Warrior games where you have the different armies you go through and the different stories and stuff. So more focused on one, but it's definitely fun, has interesting aspects to the game. I'm definitely gonna be playing more of this and trying it out. So let me know if you guys have played any of these 4 games for the, either your Genesis, PS2, or the PS4 game. Let me know your guys' thoughts on these 4 games. I'd also like to hear what games you guys have been playing. And like I said, if you have any suggestions on games you think I should try out, let me know, because you guys always suggest really fun titles. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care, have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.